Welcome everybody to the Gridiron Insight. I'm your host, Marcus Dent, and I have a very special guest today. My guy from the Hall of Fame, Jason Watkins. What's going on, Jason?
My guy, thanks for having me in. I don't know how special I am, special ed maybe, but I appreciate you having me either way.
Oh man, that's all good, man. Before we get started, guys, go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, so we can bring you this content for free. Jason, before we get into it, man, tell them where they can find you at, bro.
Yeah, man, you know where to find me. It's at Hall of Fame College Football. It's HOF-CFB right here on Twitter. You can find us at hofmedia.us as well. And always on Twitter as well. I wouldn't say always because I don't hang around there as much as I used to, but hey man,
You're starting to a little bit more though.
kind of have to sometimes, man. But
Yeah.
I've got to get to the point where I don't take anything real serious on
Yeah,
there.
man.
It makes me crazy sometimes.
Definitely understand that, man. But man, we got a real interesting topic, man, that we want to talk about tonight, man. This NFL agents and NILs, man. It's something that right now I think is kind of running rapid. In the in the college world with no restrictions, and where
Yeah.
you have no restrictions, you have a lots of money. You're gonna have a lots of people trying to get into the deal. And a couple of years ago, man, the college man, the NFL guys wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Now they diving in with both, man. So tell me
Must
why
mean
do
there's
you think
money in
they're
the
diving
water.
in?
Must mean
Yeah,
there's
it's
some
much
money
money.
in the water.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of money in the water, man. So give me some of your thoughts, man. Why you think outside of that, just what do you think is happening, and what do you think need to change when it comes to these NFL agents, or just agents, period, when it comes to this college football and NILs?
Well, I think that it's the longer you go with this. I mean, what we're in year 3 of it really being serious with NIL money. I mean, I guess it's been going on a little longer in 4th year or whatever. But to be honest, it's just now getting to where it's rampant everywhere. It's turned into because of the fact that the NCAA had zero parameters around it when they just introduced it to the world. It kind of made it a situation where you didn't have any control over it. So each state does everything different and
Yeah,
everything else. And
definitely.
just with NIL, now we're finding out that they can't touch the NIL because it's endorsement money and stuff like that, which is fine with me. I would just remind everybody that the rules were made by adults, not kids that are coming
Not the
into college
kids.
figuring
Yeah,
it out, right? But
yeah,
but
and
I
that's the
think that
thing.
they're
People
taking
don't
advantage of
understand that.
kids, though, it
No,
sounds
they
like.
take, yeah, man. You got the NFL guys. They can only get 3% of a contract. The NFL agents right now are getting up to 20 to 25% of some of these deals. You know, you got the NFPA, um, association. Have guidelines. You got to have a bachelor's degree, or you got to have 7 years working. Along beside somebody who have done it. And then you got to have a certification. You got to take a certification test. You got to be, you have to have insurance. You have fees you have to pay every year. So you have to have none of that to be an agent, um, to represent somebody, as a collegiate athlete. Here's another thing what people don't understand too. So, okay, you said they only get 3%, and that's true, but they also can get 20% of a marketing deal. So they're looking at the NIL as like a marketing deal. So,
Mhm.
after talking to some of the agents, they say, okay, the reason why we asked for 20, because that's what we asked for from the NFL guys for their marketing deal.
But
So
the
that's why the
marketing deal is getting
20% come from.
redone. It's not even working like a marketing deal though, because they're going
No,
to the
no.
collective. They're going to the collective and negotiating with the collectives around the country, just like they would a normal front office, at this point. So they're going in there and they're using that the same way. I understand it if you go and you get, a deal with Dr. Pepper or something like
Yeah,
that. You know what I mean?
definitely.
That's fine.
Definitely.
But when you go in there and you're doing that, when you're it's not a let's not get it twisted and act like NIL is what it's supposed to be.
No, it's not. It's not. And see, that's what they're using. That's the excuse they're using for the 20% is okay. We It's name, image, and likeness, so that's marketing. So we're going to ask for 20%, and
Yeah,
that's BS.
yeah,
So if you got a high school kid out there right now, um, this is something else that came across my table. I have a high school kid that I know is a really good athlete. He's going to be one of the best in the country. So the agent is telling him, okay, look, you don't need to do this sport because we need you to focus on. I need you training with my guy. I need you training with my guy. I need you doing this and I need you doing that. So he's trying to map out this kid's high school career. Now, don't get me wrong. When I played high school sports, I played three sports: basketball, football, and I ran track. Guess what, guys? Now schools want you a lot more advanced than they did back in 1988. So
yeah,
you have to be a little bit more polished. There's no room for, oh yeah, I can take him in 2 years, he's gonna be this. That doesn't happen anymore. So now these agents are coming in and they're getting into these high schools and they're telling they're mapping out these kids' future at the same time they're signing on the dotted line, and half of the parents don't know what they're signing,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I was on the show yesterday with Rawhide Media, and we were kind of talking about some of this stuff too. And I think a lot of the problem, we've talked about this before, is that a lot of these kids, well, they don't really have people giving them very good advice.
No.
And or they may not even have a male in their lifetime at all, in their life at all, or anybody that knows anything about money and how to handle it or any of that other kind of stuff, and how to
Right.
not get preyed upon. And so you end up in a situation where, it's the blind leading the blind a lot of times. I've always felt like even in the NFL that the stuff that they do, the rookie symposium kind of stuff, those kind of things needs to be even more. I don't know how, I know that supposedly it's mandatory, but I think that there's some things that you need to make sure that they're getting educated on,
Oh,
because
definitely.
you literally have built a system where even if they're certified, they're in there preying on these guys. You know what I mean? And so to be able to do that, and I think that the colleges need to do the same thing with the entire thing. Look, I love. I'm a big fan of the Soul Mission, and I think that has a big thing to do with it. I think that that's huge for
Yes, it
Oklahoma
is.
kids,
It
huge.
is.
But how much are they getting out? How are they all getting something out of it? Is it mandatory that you're learning this and that credit,
Mhm.
things like that? You know what I mean? There's some things that we need to be teaching our kids as, just being good parents, as they're growing
Oh,
up. But
definitely, definitely, definitely. Um, Out of the Soul Mission, man, I think they get a lot out of it. But I do think, when you come to these NIL deals and different things, I think, I'm not seeing anything from the agents that's saying, hey, look, we're going to help you finance your money. We're going to help you invest your money. It's all about what we can do. And then you got a lot of parents think just because their kids in high school and this guy that has represented this guy in the NFL, that
yeah.
okay, they just automatically say, if I go with him, my kid is going to make it there. And that's not the case, guys. I'm telling you, parents, right now, listen, just because a guy say, okay, I represent X, Y, and Z in the NFL, they making millions of dollars. That does not mean that your son is going to resonate to the same thing. But you got parents who they're looking at the dollar sign. They're not looking at what's really in front of them right now.
Well, and they
And
don't
you,
understand the slotting from the draft and any of that other stuff. If you're
no,
not a
man,
first rounder, you don't make that much money. I mean,
no.
it's more money than they've ever had probably, but that doesn't if you don't make it by the 3rd round, you're just not gonna make a whole
You
lot of
might as
money
well be
until you
if you
get
don't
to
make
that
it by the third
2nd round.
round, you might as well be a free agent.
You might as well.
Just being honest with you. But okay, this is something that's I think we talk about the NCAA, so those boys. Um, Man,
Trash.
they gotta have some kind of guidelines of who can actually represent these kids. I mean, I don't know if it start with the conferences. I don't know if it start with the NCAA. I mean, you don't have to. You could be any jackleg on the street to come and represent a kid.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
all you
you
got to
can.
do is actually If you got any kind of education, look over it yourself. The things that you don't understand, Google it or go take it to a damn lawyer.
Mhm.
But you're looking at
Well, see, and
the
if you just use an attorney, you can do that for 4 or $500. That ain't nothing,
easy
right? But if
instead
you
of
go
giving
get
up
if you go
20%.
yeah, I was thinking to say, you go talk to, one of these super agents, quote unquote, that's in there preying on you. And I say quote unquote because if you don't know the dude's name, he ain't a super agent. You don't
Dude,
know shit about it.
dude, they going down the list. They go to 24/7 Sports, they go to On 3. And they go down that list of those top 25 kids in each state. And they get in touch with these kids. Somehow, somewhere. It's prey, man. Because
Mm, of
what
course.
would you want? What would you want? Would you want to get 25% from a kid that's making 300, $400,000 a year, and
Oh,
you renegotiate that contract every year? Or you want to go get a kid, get a player from the NFL that's only making 700 or 800,000, or maybe even a million, and you're only getting 3%. Which
right.
one are you getting the most money from? You're
Yeah,
getting
you're
the
gonna
most
you're gonna
money,
make it over and over again if you can, and that's
right?
why, Drew Rosenhaus was on I saw, we were sitting there watching that one with, him on Pat McAfee, and he was talking
Right.
about that they're out there on the hustle, man, they gotta be.
They gotta be. And you talking about right now, they're like, okay, you got an NFL guy and you got a college guy.
Mhm.
Which one do you represent? I mean, you're gonna try to represent both of them, but if you had to spend more time on
Marcus, you have to renew your roster all the time if you're
right,
an NFL agent, right? You don't
right.
have a choice but to do that, so you're constantly now this is free game for these guys
Oh
to go
man,
out there and start going after them. And I mean, before you weren't allowed to do that. You weren't allowed to approach them while they were in college because of amateurism and all that other kind of stuff.
that's gone.
Now they need you, and now but here's the thing: how many of them are particularly or specifically going after the kids that yes they may be ranked high or whatever, but they're also able to see, okay, well, he's got a single parent,
Oh
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
man. That's
And
that's that's. Oh yeah, you hit it on the head. The
yeah,
single parent is going to be the one that they come after.
yeah,
And the thing about it is, the high school coaches are going to start feeling the effect of this, because
mhm.
your superstar is not going to listen to you anymore. He's going to be listening to this agent.
I think that's already
You know,
happening, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. So when he get a sprained ankle, and it's
Yeah.
not like he want, that agent gonna tell him to sit out. You don't need to play.
Yeah, and the thing is how many of those guys even know what the hell they're doing?
Oh man, now, like I
Because
said, there's no
there's no
regulations.
certifications for this thing. There's nothing. Yeah, and until they get collective bargaining, there won't be.
Well, let
But
me ask you.
but I want to remind everybody that collective bargaining does not mean that the NIL is going to change because it isn't.
Nah, that's not gonna change. That's here.
Yeah.
That's here. So let's take a parent with only, they got a kid, 4-star kid, receiver, um, 30 plus offers. She know nothing about this.
Not a thing.
So, not a thing about this. And how many of those parents are out there? Whether it's a him or her or whatever situation is.
Yeah, I know
How
just as
many?
many, dads that are single dads
Yeah.
that they don't do shit but work. They ain't got time for all that shit. They
Hey,
don't even
I
go
got a
watch it.
parent. I got a parent right now. His dad is an educator, never played, but he got a kid that's a big time baller. He knows nothing.
Yeah.
He knows nothing. So guess what? What do you do? How much educate? You can educate yourself. The internet is there. Educate yourself. Pick up a phone, call a lawyer. There are keywords in these contracts that you do not need to sign. There are
Shout out to K
contracts
Chris.
with these kids that they are signing, and then when they do go pro, guess what? You're locked in with this guy.
That's pretty much what K Chris is doing these days too, is doing a lot of contract negotiation or, he's
Right.
taking care of them for people and stuff.
Well,
So
and here's the
you
thing,
gotta
guys.
have it, man. You gotta have it.
And we're gonna say this, guys. I don't want nobody saying, "Man, they were just on there bashing agents." We're not bashing
No,
agents.
no, no. Not
We're
all
not
of them.
bashing. We're not bashing agents because you got some good guys out there,
You
and
gotta
you
have
do
them,
have
man.
some parents that do need help,
Absolutely.
but not at 20%.
No. No, if you're going for 20% over what they're getting in NIL, then that ain't the right thing to do because that
Nah,
you're not out there that's not you out beating the streets to go get a single brand to come after you and give you a big chunk of change. You're not going after that's not a Nike contract.
It's not a Nike contract.
That's not what we're talking about. If it was that, yeah, yeah, and I mean, but and so like if an agent comes to you and tells you that he wants to charge you guys 20%, you tell him to go jump in the lake,
Well, let me ask you this: what if
or you
that
might
agent
go
come to
throw his
you to
ass in
say,
the lake.
what if that agent come to you and say, "We want to sign you. We're gonna give you, this is our percentage, but we got X, Y, and Z marketing deals." Does that make it more attractive?
If it's already there, sure, why not?
Yeah.
If
And
I
see,
mean,
that's what I'm
if they're
saying. Get
bringing
something
you
out of the
money
deal.
if they're bringing you money, then sure.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I know this. I mean, regulations got to come, and it's got to come fast. I'm the father of a collegiate athlete, and look, we appreciate everything that the school does, but we do know that it's making it difficult on the coaches.
Big David
It's making it
Uyunglele talks
difficult on
about this a lot.
everybody.
Big David Uyunglele, DJU, and Mateo's dad. He's got a company where he's trying to help parents with navigate in a
And that's very
NIL
much
stuff
needed.
all the way.
That's very
Mhm.
much needed. If if
Absolutely.
if you got somebody who's a parent of a former athlete, a former NFL guy who's in the business, who understands the business, yeah, go look at his track record and see what he's doing, and that might be the person you need to go with instead of somebody just has never ever played the sport, but they can tell you I got this guy this much, I got this guy this much, but think about it. If you get $100,000 contract, if they gonna give you 100,000, bro, they was gonna give you 100,000 regardless.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, some of these big time quarterbacks, you know, these 5-star quarterbacks and something, I'm not gonna even lie. I could see them looking into an agent because there might be some marketing deals to come with it. But
Dylan Gabriel had an agent when he got to Oklahoma. I
right,
mean, and that was this is we're talking 3 years ago.
right, right. And so those deals like that, I understand a little bit more than the average guy. But they're trying to get every kid that's going to get a scholarship, that's going to get
Mhm.
any NIL money.
Well, yeah.
You know,
Well, and
and
I mean, it's it's predatory, man. It is. I mean, a lot of these agents are attorneys by trade. I
oh
think
yeah,
that, a lot of that and, you know, we got,
I just I just thought about something an old man told me, man, and it's not true, but it just came about. He said, "Man, I can tell you one thing about attorney. They got a special place in hell."
sure they do. And, hey, they do
But
until you need their ass for
yeah,
something.
till you need them, then hey, look, you don't care about nothing. You don't care nothing about that,
Give me the
man. But
slimiest one, man. Give me the
hey,
slimiest one.
you
So,
gotta have
collective
them, man.
bargaining, just to kinda let everybody if you don't really understand what it is, I think most of our audience probably does, but I'll just kinda give you a short overview definition of what it is. The NFL collective bargaining agreement, they call it the CBA. Now, that's a legal
CBA,
contract that's negotiated between the league itself and then the NFL Players Association, so that's a union. Basically, you're just going to outline the terms and conditions of the employment with the league. So each player, there's certain things, you know, if you read my column where I was talking about the amount of practices and the amount of hitting and things like that, those things are all kind of the deals that are outlined in that collective bargaining agreement. Other things, obviously, being salary distribution, health and safety standards, benefits like pension, all that other stuff that they've had to bargain over the years.
correct.
If you know anything, if you've ever been around a union, you understand what collective bargaining is. But
Definitely,
in the end,
definitely.
you know, all the rest of the operational rules that govern the league, and it basically is supposed to be so it protects both sides of it. You know,
And that's what we don't have. The
yeah,
NFPA right now keeps everybody right here.
sure,
They
sure,
keeps everything in a hub, and it doesn't get. I mean, they needed it, and they got it. They finally got to a place where okay, these guys coming in, they're getting all this money as a rookie, and they haven't been able to collect on it because they come in and they fizzle out. So guess what? We're not going to give you all that money. We got a collective bargaining agreement with the owners that you can only make this much.
Right.
Now, it has nothing to do with your marketing or your signing bonus. You can get whatever you want in that deal. But right now, um, you don't have anything like that in college football.
Right.
So you got guys that, let's just say you got a kid that's hurt or a situation.
We just did
I
that. We just had that.
We just did that, but in college, so what's going to happen when these contracts start going deep into details about certain things like that? And how's that going to affect that teammate? How's it going to affect that team? There's a lot of things, man, that I see that's real dangerous with signing with signing these guys. Not saying that there's not nobody out there that don't need them, because there probably are a few, but there's some dangerous things that can come by and hurt college football. We already in a very
Uncle,
pivotal
you got
time
Uncle
right now.
Fester over there telling everybody what to do, and he don't know shit.
Right. Oh yeah, that happens.
A
That
lot.
happens.
More
You
times
know,
than
you
you don't.
you take you take fam, you take Marcus Dupree. Let's go all the way back.
Yep. I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, you go all the way back to Ken to Fairley, that was handling his stuff. Did not know anything about football.
Dirty as the day is long.
Correct. And that situation went bad.
Mhm.
We all know if Marcus had stayed at Oklahoma, he probably could have won the Heisman. Maybe I know he would have been up for at least once
Oh, he
in
don't
his
want
in
the
his
Heisman.
tenure. He,
He's
he'd have
gonna
won
win
the
the
Heisman.
Heisman. That shit
Right.
stuff.
So
If they'd
so
have given it
so
to freshmen back then, he might have gotten it anyway.
oh, right, exactly right. I forgot about it. It wasn't giving it to freshmen back then.
Oh,
So my thing of it is, I want people to be aware of what's going on. And then you got, so another thing, it's off the NIL, but it's about college football. You got you got the SEC and you got the Big Ten. So the SEC goes 1-5 against the Big Ten. So guess what these agents are gonna do? They're gonna already didn't witness this. One guy's like, hey, look, we can get you more money in the Big Ten. No, they can't. SEC guys got just as much money.
mhm.
Yeah, the
And
SEC is not.
they'll find more creative ways to get it to you.
Oh yeah, yeah. They'll find more creative way. They'll tell you, you can go to Wisconsin because this, that, and the other,
Freeze
this,
your
that, and
ass
the
off.
third. And that's just not the case right now, man. The SEC, we took some bumps and bruises, but guess what? Hey, I don't think nobody in the Big Ten had a schedule the like I want to say 90% of the teams in the SEC.
This is exactly what I've been talking about, and I'm glad you brought that up because here's a fact. There is no way that you can literally sit here and know without equivocation that the Big Ten is the better conference. Now, what you have in the Big Ten is more of that old money that
Oh, you
is
got some old money in the
they
Big
got
Ten,
some
bro.
control. And now that
Got some
USC
control.
is involved in it, now that USC is involved and you've got Nike involved in it. Now Nike's new money, according to a
But
lot of
it's
those,
still loan money though, bro.
it's still long money. Yeah,
It's
no
loan
doubt.
money.
It's not as long as Michigan money, though, and
Nah,
it's not as long as Ohio State or USC money either. I don't give a shit what they tell you. Because they all want to sit there and tell you, well, they're just buying it up and all that kind of stuff at Oregon. Don't act like you ain't doing the same thing because we all know better.
oh yeah,
But
definitely.
when it comes to Michigan, I mean, we just heard how, I mean, a week ago they were talking about the Michigan collective expects to pay out $55
50,
million in NIL, not collective, not the revenue share, NIL next year.
yeah. And
$55 million.
so,
It's double what they're talking about rev share being.
hey, if you're an agent, what are you talking about? You want to, hey, look, man, they got more money up there. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they're looking at. But
Mhm.
that's, like I said, that's here or there. We know what we're looking at when it comes to the SEC. I think
No.
there's something that needs to be done with the
Well,
schedule being so brutal like it is.
and I wanted to ask you that. Here's the thing about it. We know that what the Big Ten did was, and smartly, I would say, by the way, they limited their power teams, their best teams, they limited their exposure to one another.
Yeah, they did that.
And I think they
And
also limited.
I didn't realize that to mid-season when I was talking to a couple of guys about that. And if you go back and look at it, man,
Yeah, I'll
they
show
didn't
you.
beat up on each other,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
but we did.
Absolutely.
We did. That's
And more
something that
so than ever,
need to
more
be
so than ever,
revisited.
because of you got rid of the because you got rid of your uh divisions, which I think that there's a way around doing it, but you have to find it's not going to work out very good if you don't figure this out. Now, let me pull up. Let's just for instance, I'm going to say, let me pull up this schedule here. Come on, sucker.
Man, you take Florida and
Yeah. So yeah, we have Florida down and Oklahoma and even Georgia for that matter. I mean, they had brutal schedules. So let's just looking at. Oh, this is like that week to week. I hate their little schedule thing. It's weird looking. Let me
I can tell
find.
you Oklahoma, Florida,
Oh,
brutal.
I want to look at this Big Ten schedule. So the 2024 Big Ten schedule. So ah, 2024 Big Ten Master
I mean,
schedule.
man, you a team like Indiana was able to
They
creep
had
into
a
the
hundred
play,
and
bro.
fifth best schedule in the country. The 105th toughest schedule in the
And they
country.
still get it. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And but and that's what I was saying when I was on with those the fellas over there at at Rawhide yesterday. That was the crazy thing about it, Marcus, is that they're saying you had a couple of them that were like, look, you got to go with what happens on the field. Okay, that's fine. But what you're about to do is you're about to make what happens on the field be the same thing in the SEC. And y'all already bitch about them playing certain schools, right?
All right. Right.
But if you look at Indiana, they played UCLA, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Purdue. So Michigan and Michigan State are both bad. They could be good sometimes, and you know, but they didn't even have Wisconsin on this schedule. They didn't have Minnesota on this schedule.
Hold
Maryland
on.
is probably the next best team to Ohio State. And once they played Ohio State, they got drug. Okay. The same thing goes for Iowa, Minnesota, Ohio State, then UW, Michigan State, Northwestern,
Horrible.
Wisconsin,
Horrible.
UCLA, Maryland, and
Pitiful.
Nebraska. Trash. Trash.
Trash.
Trash.
Definitely. Well,
They call your team trash. That's what they are, trash.
hey, definitely, man. And see, that's the so back to what we were talking about, man.
Yeah,
The agents are gonna look at everything they can to make the most money.
of course.
And so you don't want, and I know I'm down
These
south.
are unintended consequences.
I don't want kids going way up to Michigan to play ball when they can stay in
It
the
might
SEC and
happen
play
one
ball.
year. It might happen one year. I'm gonna tell you that them kids from the
Right.
down south will not enjoy it up in freezing ass cold at Michigan. You already know.
Oh yeah. I mean, but you take one or two, it happens. They leave because of different reasons and all that kind of
Sure,
stuff,
sure. I
man.
mean, it
But
happens, but I'm
yeah,
just saying.
but as a whole, that I'm looking at a market where you know these
How
guys, these
many do you?
agents say, I can make you, I can get you more money here.
Oh,
And I don't think that's going to happen because once the
I don't know.
revenue share starts in April, I think a lot of things are going to change for some of these schools down south, like a school like Mississippi State. I think things are going to change for them once the revenue share come in because they didn't have a big NIL budget, but once
They
they,
better get after it. They better get with it.
yeah, they're doing a lot better now because they have done really good picking up some guys in the portal. But what I'm saying is this right here: the revenue sharing is going to help a school like that.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So there's money right there on the table.
Right.
But
Of course.
I can tell any parent, hey, you better look at what your child is going up against. I know everybody think that child is the best kid on the team. But look, as a parent, you have to look at you have to look at what's coming in. You have to look at what's going out and you say, hey, look, do I want my kid on this roster?
Yeah.
And guess what? That agent don't give a shit. He's just looking at the money.
Of course.
He
Well, and
don't he
that's why
he's
you
not
really
looking at
have
it
to make sure you're doing your due diligence, man,
right.
if you're the parents. And so I think we need to reach out to Big Dave and maybe talk to him. In fact, I can
Oh yeah.
send him a link right now, but I think we should get with him here over the next week or two and see kind of what he's doing and what he feels about some of this. Because, you got DJ going to, he's going pro after this year now. Um, it won't be long till Mateo's doing the same thing. He
Oh
just
yeah,
had his
Mateo,
sophomore
Mateo,
year.
he'll be right behind him
He's a
year
baller
two.
too, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's a
Woo.
baller, man. Um,
So, but Big Dave, he's been talking about it before that it's tough. They got in on it at the very start, and it was something that everybody had to learn on the fly because why? Because nobody was prepared for it.
no, we what Dave as much stuff. My partner Dave Johnson that writes for 24/7. His
Mhm.
son played collegiate ball. Son coaches, and me and him we talk because he's involved on different things, and he know a lot of different people. As much football as I have been around,
Yeah,
and and to have to go through this as a parent is different.
yeah,
It's totally different. You got a general manager right now is saying, okay, this is what we think your child. Just think about somebody coming up to you, Jason, say, this is what we think your child is worth.
yeah,
And this other kid might be making more, and this other kid might be making less. And you got a decision to make. You got a decision as a family to make.
yeah.
And think about it's hard enough to making that decision with your family, and then you throw a damn agent in that his main thing is the most money. It's not about where do you fit on this roster. So that's some difficult shit, man, to have to damn um
But
to
there's not
navigate through.
even any kind of each school is going to do whatever they want. They have a you can spend your X amount on revenue share, right? 22 million or whatever it is,
22
right?
million is what it is.
But they don't have it slotted. You don't have any rhyme or reason to it. It could be one way at Oklahoma, an entirely different way at Okie Light. It could be, you know what I mean? It's going to be
It could be
completely
totally
different.
different. I
All these
definitely
other
understand.
places, and it may not be because if the state is out in front of it and trying to be proactive about it, which they should be, um, then you maybe you have some kind of regulation from the state. But that doesn't mean I know when Oklahoma first started their NIL legislation, the first thing they said was the NCAA could kick rocks. We're
Oh
not
yeah,
we're not we're not
definitely.
accepting any kind of punishment from you for our schools. You can kiss our ass.
Yeah.
Now I think they kind of had to back off a little bit of that, but the writing was on the wall. They're not listening to any of that stuff, and you know why? Because the NCAA they used it as they get out of jail free card because the Supreme Court justice that came at them and said, "Hey, I'm going to come after you for your labor practices." They were
Oh
there
yeah,
on an
definitely.
entirely different subject, and I'm going to come after you on your labor practices. So they used this as what they thought was going to be a fix all, and then now you've got everybody bitching about it. But who do they bitch at? They bitch at the players, and you don't even realize how many of those guys are being told to get into the portal.
It's a lot of them being told to get into the portal. It's it's just like this. They're looking at what they're looking at right now is I'm looking over here and I got three receivers.
Yeah,
And I got three receivers that are redshirt freshmen. And I got
yeah,
a junior here that I paid pretty good money. He's a redshirt junior. I paid him pretty good money the last 2 years. But I got three redshirt freshmen behind him. Yes, he is the same as these three right here. But guess what? I got some freshmen coming in. So I got to move this junior out who still can play for me,
yeah.
who still can give me some production,
But he's
but I
the
don't have
popcorn.
enough room for him.
Landry Jones that's how quarterbacks get kicked out of the NFL every day.
Yeah,
When it gets time for that second contract, veteran quarterbacks, even backups, get paid too damn much for them to keep you around.
that's right. Exactly right. That's right. I mean, the thing about it is it's a business. The only thing that the general managers wants to change is they want the public to to know what these kids are making. And that's the problem right now with these agents. They don't want kids to know. They
Yeah.
they they love keeping it private because now if I'm a quarterback or I'm a linebacker or whatever, and this guy's making 250,000 and I'm
Sure.
playing right beside him, guess what? You gotta pay me that.
Mhm.
But if they don't know, I can pay you 50 because that guy that's making 250,000, he's not gonna tell you he's making
Well, that's
250,000,
one thing I'd
you know.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, and that's one thing I'd say about Rosenhaus whenever he was on the show there with McAfee is he was like, "You need some transparency here because you don't have it. You have On 3 out there giving the NIL
And that's bullshit.
valuations,
That
but
is
what the
completely
where
BS,
are
man.
they getting that from? They don't
I
tell
don't know.
you.
I know where
Yeah,
they're getting it from. They're getting it from on your Twitter followers. That's where they're getting it from. They're not getting it
some
from,
algorithm. Yeah,
yeah, from the algorithm. I mean, that's the only place they could get it from because they have no inside track to what a school is paying a kid because that contract is confidential.
right.
Isaiah contract is confidential. Only somebody know about that contract is me, him, his mom, and the school. So how in the hell can On Three say that this is what he's worth?
Yeah.
Which somebody said something in the comment. Oh man,
Ryman
it's
Lemon,
crazy.
this is my guy Ryman. He's always got a good one. This one's funny. Leonardo DiCaprio's dating policy. Why keep the older one when the younger ones can give just as much production and cheaper? I added the cheaper part, but
Yeah. Hey, look. Hey, he's absolutely right. And
yeah,
that's what you're
he's
gonna
not wrong.
have. You're gonna have that at every school when
Yeah,
you got young guys that you feel like is going to produce, and you got another kid that what I not saying he's stalemate and he's not going up, he's not going down. That stalemate kid, I got to get him out of here. If he's at a SEC school, but guess what? A La Tech will take him in a heartbeat.
facts.
And a lot Tech might give him what he was paying, what he was making at OU or Alabama, whatever situation is, because they don't have that caliber guy on their roster.
Well, Danny Stutzman, and I think that was when they were still doing it with Jeremiah Hall. Then they were talking about the NIL last year. This was last year during the
Mhm.
season that they had one of their podcasts, and they were great on that show too. Him and Kanik were hilarious, but they got to talking about that and that a lot of the guys were leaving because it was just because you went to Oklahoma, you're going to get a lot more money from elsewhere. You may not have even played a lick, and there was guys
Mhm.
that were leaving Oklahoma like
Getting more money.
and getting more money. Yeah, so
Mhm.
the one kid. Who was the kid that ended up at Ole Miss? Um, Secondary guy.
Lawrence.
Yeah,
Lawrence.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Hmm.
Key
Key
Lawrence,
Lawrence.
and he
Didn't
was
play.
yeah,
Didn't
he was
play.
well. He didn't play much at
He
OU
did-
for sure because he was
he
always
didn't.
he was always in BV's doghouse. You know, I
Right.
mean, it just they were always in the doghouse. But he got, I mean, Ole Miss they backed up the Brinks truck for him.
And guess what?
Bye.
Same results.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, same results. So
Well, and I mean, but that's the whole thing is that there's no accounting for identifying real talent. You know what I mean? And if you're struggling, and I don't think that all of it was over I think he's talented. I think that he's talented. I think that there was a communication problem going on there at
Mhm.
times. And some of these kids are like that. I think some places are just not right for you. You know what I mean? And it's not nothing against the kid necessarily, may not even be nothing against the school either. You're just not getting along.
Okay. You made a perfect point that let's just say you had a situation like he was at OU, and you have this agent. We're going back to the agent. You know what? This is a perfect opportunity for him to make a little bit more money. You know what? He ain't working out there. Let's shop him again. Because you shop him again, you making more money. If you feel like you can get more for him. So guess what? That's what I'm saying, man. The NCAA, I think the SEC would do something before the NCAA do. That's just my
Well,
opinion.
here's the other part of it that I would say. I think there's going to come a point that the money is going to be what does something because you look at Fox and you look at ESPN, let's not get it twisted and wonder who's running college football, because we know who's running college football.
No,
Those
definitely,
media networks are,
definitely.
because they're invested in it. We're talking about what, $7 billion a year that they're giving these leagues
Oh yeah.
for the playoff and everything else. You have to understand that these guys they're gonna get real sick of forking out all this cash, and the product gets worse.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen. That's happening now though, bro.
I know it is, but
That's happening right now.
this is why you have to find a way to incentivize keeping these kids around.
Dude, let me tell you something. And I hate to um reference back to Oklahoma, but you look at the receivers that we lost. Those receivers, except for two of them, didn't have no production.
Got
You
to
know,
go. You got to
got
go.
to go. And guess what? So I'm not saying that they didn't say, okay, look, we're gonna cut you this deal. But if you stay healthy and you do this, this is your, I don't know what their contract was, but I'm just saying they cannot pay you and they will not pay you if you're hurt. And we all understand you got injuries. That happens. But going into the next year, if you miss a significant amount of time, you can look for the next year for your money to get cut.
Coach,
And that agent is gonna say, "What? No, man, you better than that, man. No, so and so." And you gonna have some schools that will give you that.
well, you heard what he said on McAfee's show. He was talking about that if you get hurt and you get through it in college, you get healthy again. They were trying to say that makes you more
Yeah, yeah. It's
attractive to the NFL. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, what are you trying to tell
I
them?
couldn't understand that. I couldn't understand the basis of what he was saying on that. I didn't. You get hurt, and then all of a sudden you back and you healthy, you strong. You go have another year. Now you're this for the NFL. And I know they deal with all kind of guys.
Yeah.
Most some of the most high powered guys in the NFL, but I just can't understand that one.
No, I think that's. I mean, listen, you can only take so much of what you hear from that guy as
Yeah,
gospel.
he's
You
a
know,
salesman. He's a
yes,
salesman, bro.
he's the best there is in the NFL for getting his guys money. That doesn't mean he's squeaky clean or perfect, because
Oh hell,
he's heating that shit up every day. Don't you remember when T.O. was doing sit-ups and shit in the damn park in the driveway?
I remember that, man.
And he
Come
got the
on, bro.
cameras out there, man. And he was all over it. Drew was all over that shit.
Man, he makes the money though.
He
He
does.
makes the money,
He does.
and
And
that's what I'm saying.
he's always
When,
got them receivers, bud.
oh yeah, that's his calling card. Um, but you got to say this about the agents, and guys, we're not on here just saying, okay. Marcus said, hey, do not go get an agent. I'm not saying that. If you
Mm-mm.
need one, you feel like you need one, then you feel like it's worth that 20%. Go ahead. But we're just trying to give you some insight on what's
20% is
really going on.
highway robbery, though.
Yeah, that's how we. And the thing about it, I was just okay.
And
Say
here's the other
this.
thing I was going to ask you. Hold on, real quick. And this is something that keeps coming up too. What about taxes, man? We're not. Are the you got somebody there teaching these kids about what it means
You
to
got
pay
Uncle Sam
taxes?
calling at the end of the year, bro. That 150,000, that 200, that 300,000.
It puts you in a tax bracket where you pay a shit ton,
That's
but
right.
it ain't a lot of money once you start having to pay it.
That's exactly right. You got to pay taxes on that. Then you got to turn around and pay him. So you better learn how to put some of that money back, get your LLC, have some write-offs and different things like that, because you're gonna need that. And if he's all he's talking about is how much money he can get you, he's not talking about how much money he can save you. If you're gonna be my agent, then I want you to be able to help me take care of everything from the front door to the back. And that's including taxes, that's
You gotta be able to
including
trust them for
marketing.
that, though. You gotta
Yeah,
be able to trust them
that's
for that.
somebody you gotta trust. How do you trust somebody 100% that just came into your life yesterday?
You don't. You
You
better not.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, how many times you heard about these guys getting screwed over by their agents and management teams,
Oh, it's all the time.
accountants?
Oh, the accountants, they the worst.
Because they
They the
know how
worst.
to hide that shit. It's just math.
You take. I'm gonna tell you two incidents that I know of. One is my cousin Trey Burke played 8 or 9 years, and
Trey Burke. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he went to Michigan.
yeah, went to Michigan. You know, he he pretty much was a kid that had middle class parents, kind of like somebody, and his mom was an accountant. So guess what? They were able to handle that kind of stuff for him. They was able to oversee that. Now, if you don't have that, which 98% of people are not going to have that, you got to go try to find somebody that you trust. But that person that you've been knowing for 20 years will screw you over too.
Faster than the other ones will.
Faster than the other will. So, but what you have to do, you have to go look at whoever, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's an agent, go look at go look at their track record. Go look at how long have they been in the business. Go talk to some people that they have worked with.
Mhm.
If you're gonna be my agent, give me 10 people that you have represented off the bat. Don't give me 10 people that you
And
done
give me their
already
phone
called.
numbers. I want to talk to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk to them. Give them to me right now. Don't wait until you talk to them and say, hey, look, man, I got so and so gonna call you, man, and hey, man, just represent me good. Give it to me right now. I want to know all the people you have represented out of 25, 30 people, and then let me pick the ones that I call. If you're that good, they're gonna say, okay. That's what you're dealing with
And, but,
right now.
and that's what, if you're doing them right. If you're not, holding them over a barrel for 20% on an NIL deal through the collective and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. I mean,
And you know what? Here's the thing. It's as the older we get, the more we understand that if somebody balks at something that's a simple question, and if you're trying to hide from that, then you don't work with that guy.
mm-mm.
But there would be kids that would, because they wouldn't know any better. They allow themselves to get boxed into a corner a little bit, right?
So let me ask you this.
Because
You're
they don't
right.
know any better.
So what's gonna happen when kids start holding out because that's coming next?
Oh, it's already coming. It's been happening. But I've
You
heard
see
of
what I'm saying?
players that stopped, that wouldn't go into the second half of a football game unless they got some cash.
Correct. Correct.
I mean, that's going extreme, fellas.
That's
That's
going
going a little
extreme, but it's
extreme.
happening.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
what happens when you get to fall camp and this kid has a hell of a spring? I mean, he shows the man and he's only making 250.
Yeah.
And his counterpart is making 500. He
Yeah.
holds out. Said, man, look, yeah, I won't be there until y'all give me another contract.
Yeah.
I mean, I beat this guy out. I think I did a lot better than what you expected. I want this. That's coming.
Yeah.
Because that agent is gonna be, he's gonna do it
It's
just like
not
the
coming. It's
NFL.
already here. It's already
Yeah,
here.
but it's gonna be more reoccurring
Sure
in,
it is.
in the near
Well,
future.
you know why though? Because you got guys like Lincoln Riley and USC that did Jordan Addison the way that they did when he left Pitt.
Yeah, it's true.
Promised him $2 million and gave him $200,000.
Well, there it is. I mean, that's
So
that's
it's
what's gonna
not
happen.
one-sided. It's going on. And as long as, and look, how many stories have you heard about A&M? All that money they promised, that 30
man.
million for that class, and they paid maybe a third of it, from what I
Yes.
understand.
Yes. In most of these contract guys, a lot of these schools are nothing but agreements. They're not binding. So
Mhm.
guess what? If that school wants to say, I'm not gonna pay you this 30,000, what you gonna do? Who you gonna fight them with?
Yep. You've got to, and that's what I'm saying. We're not even, look, I
That's
know
gonna
it's
be tied
easy
up so long in court,
for us
man.
to jump on the side of the school, the name on the jersey, not on the front, not the back. You know what I mean? You hear that all the time. But the truth is, they're the ones that are protected the most.
Correct.
And they
You better
also
believe that.
have the most money with which to screw you with.
Oh yeah.
What are you going to do? Take them to court? They can hold out, they break you.
They got plenty of money. They got old money. They don't have to worry about
Yeah.
they got lawyers on
Imagine
retainer,
all them old blue
for
blood
that.
type people from Ole Miss.
Man, what?
Shit. That's
What?
old money. Old money.
You might
South
as well
money.
might as well just go ahead on count your losses and go somewhere else.
You better just get out of the state altogether.
You get out of state altogether, go somewhere else, start all over,
Damn
because
right.
that's what's coming. Um, you got, like I said, we talked about the high school stuff. A lot of these high school coaches is finna get it.
Well,
They
and
finna get hit by something that they're gonna be blindsided in the next. I think it's coming this year by players. Um,
embezzling and doing stuff like that from 'em,
well,
or
well,
like
not
preying
that.
off of them.
Yeah, preying off of them. You
Yeah.
know, coaches getting in with agents. That stuff is coming.
AAU shit is what you're talking about.
Oh man, the AAU back when was Adidas?
AAU basketball shit has been
Yeah,
long.
yeah, when Adidas got in all that trouble for
Yeah.
AAU basketball.
Yeah, with Patino and all them guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But think about that now. Hey, that would be perfectly legal right now.
Sure. Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So what you think's finna happen to these high school coaches? It's finna be some corruption,
Yeah.
because the agent, he's gonna, who can he go to first? You got a 5-star kid. Okay, you got the mom, you got the high school coach.
Mhm.
Man, his number is public record. You can get it. You can get it. You can call him and say, hey, look, this so and so. I heard you got a 5-star athlete that I can get him X and I can get you X if you help me get him to this place. That's coming. And that high school coach is gonna
Oh
be like,
no. Hey, parents that are coaches or whatever, and they get
yeah,
jobs at the school. That's been happening forever, man.
oh yeah, that's been happening forever. But it's so many avenues that this thing it has potential of growing legs to. That's why I say the SEC before I say the NCAA. I think the SEC need to come in and say, hey, look, here's some guidelines we need to go by. Do you think that's possible? Can they do that when it comes to that? I
What
think they can.
what was it? What was the question?
I think the SEC can come in and say, hey, look, in order for you to be able to talk to our guys, these are the guidelines that you're gonna have to go by. You're gonna have to be certified and qualified as X, Y, and Z before you can do that. And you can't take but 10%, 3%, 7, whatever it is, from these guys to be able to talk to one of our guys. Anything outside of that is illegal. So I
Yeah,
think the
well, the
conferences
that
can
part.
start first to doing that than anybody else.
The problem with that is that what are you going to do to the agents? They're not going to tell on each other. And the second part would be all they got to do to get around all of that is have their boy that played 7-on-7 with them give them a call.
Yeah, that's
Done and
true.
over with, man.
But
Done
but
and
but
over.
but there's still got to be something signed on the dotted line
Sure, there does.
with their name on it in order for them to get their money. So in order for them to get their money,
I will say
they're
this:
gonna have
that
to be. They're
now
gonna have to
the
say what
LOI is
now?
gone though. The LOI is gone though now, right?
Yeah, it's
So
gone.
so now they're signing actual financial aid paperwork as part of that's how you get in. Now,
Hmm.
supposedly that's supposed to make it to where you can't go anywhere else. I bet your ass you can.
Oh hell yeah, man.
Supposedly it's supposed to be protected.
Where there's a will, there's a way. There's always a loophole when it comes to when it comes down to right and wrong. We all know that. But in college football right now, man, it's growing so many legs that you can't hardly keep up with it. Is able to run so fast that the average person who has a kid that is going to be a collegiate athlete, man, they catching hell right now. They can. I mean, you think about my guy Mikael. Me and him was talking a little bit today. Um, and shout out to Mikael Stevens.
Yeah, there's
About
Nicole.
his son. Yeah, and we was talking today, and he has a cousin that actually works with a lot of kids and different things. And he was like he has kind of like a different perspective, because he feel like that these agents, you know, um, they can actually help the kids a little bit more than just a parent that just do a little internet searching.
Right,
And
right.
maybe so. But at the same time, if an agent can't get me a marketing deal, I don't really think you need one.
No, you don't. If he's not coming to the table Because a lot of these guys, I mean, we're talking about Dylan Gabriel is with a group. He's with a management group.
Yes,
It's not just some guy,
right. That's
right?
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You take a guy like, and they got him what to go to Auburn? Was it
You mean to
two?
go to Oregon? Yeah,
Not
like
Dylan. No,
I
no,
think
no, 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 no. I'm talking about
two
my
and a half
bad.
million for Jackson.
Right, 2.5 million for Jackson, and I think
Go to
he's kind of in
Auburn
the
and sit
same
on his
boat.
ass on the bench.
Hell, I knew that was coming.
You did.
Hey, dude, that's a lot of money. You turn and so man, you pay Deuce Knight a half a million.
Yeah.
You pay Jackson 2 million. Then they sign another kid, right? So they're subject to have $4 million tied up in the quarterback
We
situation,
talked
bro.
about this before, though. With the same thing with Hawkins and Mateer. They were like, well, "You're not going to pay Mateer what you're going to pay him and sit him on the bench. You better,
Nah,
you better be paying all of them like that. Otherwise, you can't have a room. You have a quarterback, not a room. Soon as
correct.
that guy gets hurt, you're fucked." And
Yeah,
I mean, we're the SEC here.
that's true. That's true. I mean, you look at our situation. In order for us to keep um, Michael Hawkins, they're gonna have to pay it. I mean, they're not gonna say, okay, well, no, they're gonna have to pay him. You gotta have two quarterbacks on your team. You gotta have a one that you're gonna have to pay him, and you're gonna have to pay that number two guy.
Yeah,
That's facts. And quarterbacks are probably the most sought after guys when it comes to the agents, because simply because they're going to bring more money. You got your tackles, um, you got your defensive linemen, your receivers, and then everybody else. Just to be honest with you, but
right.
yeah, they definitely going after those quarterbacks, receivers, and offensive linemen. Those are the highest paid guys.
The
You
D
got to have
linemen
them.
and the O linemen have to be right, and
Yeah,
the quarterbacks. I mean, that's the most important position in any team sport.
yeah, definitely. And so just looking at what's going on right now, all we trying to do, guys, is just give you a perspective of what you're looking at for the future. If you're a parent with a high school athlete that has the potential to play college football at a high level, these are some things that you need to be thinking about. You
How
need to
hard
be
was it
thinking
for you
about.
to kind of get your head around it? Because you've been working and getting kids in as with your 7-on-7 and your camps and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. But so you've been working on recruiting side of it. How much has this changed what you do?
Oh man, it's flipped it upside down. Because now when it comes to a kid, if he's a transfer kid, the first thing they want to know is what is their PFF? How much did they play? How much production? That's what it was. It was, you used to have a kid that didn't play that much, and if he was a 4-star kid, they'd be like, "Hey, we'll take that kid." But then now, man, everything is about production, production, production. And you got the transfer portal which have hurt the high school um recruiting. Man, I'm talking about, really had just pretty much has killed it. If you're not a 4-star kid, you're not guaranteed to go to a P4 school.
No, you're
i
not.
remember i remember there was a time when a
You're talking
3-star
about
kid.
Darian. He didn't get recruited fast enough. The 6'3", 4'5", 20
Yeah,
touchdowns, a 20 catch game in 6A Texas football, and he didn't play
yeah,
football anywhere.
correct. And see, that's what you're looking at right now, man. So you want to I want to say a lot of this is the death of high school guys. That's why I'm encouraging some guys
Very
to
right.
go play to go play 2 years of JUCO, because
Mhm.
the way it is now, you get those if you get those 2 years back,
Yeah, it
you
doesn't
get those
hurt
two
you.
years back,
It
it
doesn't
doesn't
hurt you at
hurt you.
all now.
Yeah,
No, well, and they've already made it. They've already made it. They've approved of it to have 5 years right now of eligibility. No more 4, it's 5.
5. And that's
That's
crazy.
without that's just the start. That's gonna hold everybody over for this year because Diego only was looking for 1 year. But the second that somebody gets told no, which will happen because the NCAA has no rhyme or reason for what they do, and
Mm-mm.
they'll just randomly say, "No, we're not going to do that."
Yeah,
Right? Then
yeah.
they'll take it to court. They'll get their ass kicked again, and that rule will change too. Truth is, I don't know that you're going to be able to stop it because
You won't be able to
think about
stop
think about the farm teams, that farm team baseball, minor league baseball.
it. Mhm.
You could be in your 40s playing in the minors.
Correct.
I don't think it really works like that with football because of the fact that the contact part of it. But
It happens.
that's where
Yeah, I
we're
mean,
headed.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely where we're headed with it. Um, but like I say, man, I think these kids that are coming out of the JUCOs, they are being recruited um at a higher level than the high school guys. I'll give you a perfect example. And I'm gonna take my nephew. My nephew went to um this school, and
Yeah.
it's a G5 school,
Right.
but at the same time, he was bigger, faster than this kid, had better film than this kid. But the reason why they didn't take him? They didn't take him because they wanted a JUCO kid, somebody who had already been through the fall camp, just was used to a college system, and that's just why they took. And
Weight,
it's
a weight
completely,
program,
yeah, the weight program.
nutrition.
Although he rocked up, but they told him, hey, they pretty much told me the reason why they didn't take him because we got a JUCO guy here, and then they was looking at the deal with what's the quarterback name
Diego
from
Pavia.
yeah, they was looking at his situation, knowing that might come down the pipe, and they was like, you know what, we're gonna take this guy. He still got 4 years.
Right.
He still got 4 years, and he's
Yeah,
been in
and
a college program,
he's already got numbers. He's already got
right?
stats. He's got
In
film.
college, right? He got film, college film.
Yep.
My nephew only has high school film.
Well, how big time is, we've all watched, or I know I have. I was watching, that Last Chance U, and Mississippi JUCO football is the truth, right? I mean,
Oh
I've
yeah,
never
it's
seen a place
different.
that has that many
It's different,
JUCO
man.
football programs, right?
Oh, it's different. Like 13 different programs.
That's insane.
That's 13 different programs. And you got a lot of guys like Montez Sweat. You mean
Yeah.
you got guys that come from Mississippi JUCOs. What was the guy from Oregon? I used to go and watch him play. That punched the guy Blunt.
Garrett Blunt.
Yeah, yeah, Garrett Blunt. I remember when all those guys were playing. Dion Branch.
Mhm.
Man, it's just crazy amount of guys who've
Cam
come from
played at
Mississippi
Flynn, but I mean,
JUCO.
obviously that's a Texas one, but it's
Right,
kind
but
of the
but
same
but
type
I'm
of
just
deal,
saying,
though.
man, it's just the number of guys coming out of JUCOs. When you got 13 JUCOs, now the difference between Mississippi JUCOs, a lot of people don't know, than Kansas, you can have unlimited out of state guys. Mississippi, you can't have a 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that
They
helps the
do
high
it they do
school.
it similar to, like, Europe with their like in France, you can only have so many Americans come play basketball
Correct.
in their league.
And that's the way it was only 8 at one time. And then when this portal and all this other stuff started coming down, they was like, hey, we got to expand this thing a little bit. And they did. But there was a time, Mississippi JUCOs, you can only play for the school that was in your area, just like high school. And they went away from that. Now you can go to any JUCO in the state if you want to. You don't have to be released or anything like that. But when it comes down to recruiting, you can only recruit your area for a certain amount of time. After that time is up, you can go and recruit the rest of the state. So Mississippi does do some things to help recruit. Help keep our high school guys in playing football.
Yeah.
That's something that I can say that they've done really well at. And I think now with this new rule, I think Mississippi JUCOs are really, really going to see a lot of good players say, why should I go to a Southern Miss when I can go to East Mississippi and play 2 years and still have 4 years? So
Yes.
how much sense do that make?
It
And,
makes a
and
lot.
this and hey, East Mississippi got NILs, bro.
That's right. They all do. Hey,
So
real quick,
some of
Big
these
Dave's
some of
trying to
these
call me.
some of
I'm
these
gonna get Big Dave on with this real quick. He's calling me though, right quick. Hold on.
okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Pop them in there.
There he is right there. Big Dave
Oh,
Uyunglele. What's up,
can
my
you hear me?
guy? Yeah, we got you, man. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Hey,
Man,
What's
man.
hanging
going
and
on,
banging.
guy?
This is
What's
Marcus
up, homie?
Dent. This
Man,
is
what's up
Marcus.
with you, man?
Yeah,
What's up, brother? I'm good.
it's good to
Yeah,
see you,
man.
man. It's been a while. We hadn't had you on the show in a while, but man, we were just talking
Hell
about
yeah.
that, and I was saying, yeah, we were talking about all this the NIL and the way that everything is kind of changing everything, and you've seen this just really ramp up more and more every year. But we were just talking about what we saw on Pat McAfee's show, and there how you've got some of these NFL agents that are charging 20% to get it to renegotiate an NIL structure deal. Are you seeing things like that in what you're doing and kind of some of that stuff?
I mean, what you guys are talking about has been already done probably the last 2 years. You know what I mean? That stuff that they're talking about is stuff that I've already been talking about. You
Yeah.
know, about a year and a half already. Agencies are going to come in and jump on these kids now because I'm going to give you a real fact. Kids in college right now are getting paid more than second round picks and on.
Mhm.
You
Correct.
understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So normally an agent would love to be with a guy who's going to the league and getting in the draft, but now they're paying money like NFL money, so they want a piece of that pie too. You
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
definitely.
So but eh, my job is to educate parents. Anyone coming in charging 20%. I'm here to tell the parents you got to understand the difference between NIL collective and NIL endorsement. Now,
Correct,
if
man.
it's endorsement deals, okay, because it's really hard to get an endorsement deal. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to
Definitely.
bust your butt. That's the industry standard when it
Right.
comes to endorsement deal.
Right.
20%, yes.
Yeah. Nike
But
deal
when
worth $20 million. I get
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
That's what we talked
yeah,
about earlier.
yeah. But when you're talking about collective deal,
Right.
you really didn't do anything. The parents, the ones who poured into the kid before they got to the college and got themselves leveraged into a situation like that. You don't take
Definitely.
10%. You don't take 20%. You don't take even 10%. Now, I would say you would take as if you were an agent in a real NFL contract, 3%. You know why? Because
That's what we
mainly
talked
your
about.
job is just to be there to make sure the terms are correct in the contract. That's it.
Hmm. That's
That's
it.
why you're there. The kid and the mom and the dad or whoever was in that circle raising him, they did all the work for the collective deal. Because all the collective care about is, are you a baller or not? They're not
That's
asking,
it.
are you marketable? Are you pretty to
That's
get
it.
these endorsement deals? A collective deal strictly from the college, and all they care about. And I try to send this message out to parents. What moves the needle is what you do on the field. So your job
On the
as a
field.
kid who's out there trying to get a collective deal, you need to make sure you're the best football player out there. You know what I mean? That you can be to be able to
Production.
leverage yourself. Yeah, production, brother. That's
Production,
what
bro.
it is. And a lot of these parents and I just look, man. I'm starting to get in this podcast because you know,
We're gonna have to
and,
get you
and,
back on, bro. We'll definitely bring you back in, man,
We
for
love
sure.
having
yeah,
you on, man. It's been a while since we got to see Big Dave. Good to
well,
see you, by the
yeah,
way.
but you don't take my word lightly because I negotiated over 150 kids deals. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I'm in the trenches with these parents, with
Yeah.
with you know with these coaches, with these collectives. You know what I'm saying? I
Well,
know the
we were
numbers
just
that are
talking about that too. That's the hardest part is some of these folks, they don't know all that you do. You single parent homes and hey man, this is new territory for a lot of people.
That's a
But
lot
with
of
you
people,
yes,
having
man.
gone through this and stuff, you can I love it that you are providing this service and stuff. I felt like we had to get you on.
Oh, definitely, man.
yeah, and
Yeah,
and, and,
man.
and
We see a lot of different stuff right now that's going on, Big Dave, with with some of these kids coming right out of high school, being kind of led just because, you know, hey, I'm an NFL guy. I got NFL guys in the league, and they're persuading these parents that don't know anything. They thinking just they going with the name instead of going with, somebody who's really gonna look at their kid and say this is best. Like you said, the three
it-
percent is just to make sure the wording and everything is right and you don't get screwed. You
yes,
should not
yeah,
be
yeah,
getting 20% of a kid's
nah,
contract. They get
Not,
20% of a contract because of marketing. When you go to the
yeah,
marketing side of it, then that's where your 20% come in. But if they can't come in and say, I got this and this and this lined up for you, you don't get no damn 20%.
nah. You. My thing is, all the parents that I'm working with right now, I make them get in there and negotiate. I just consult, right? I just
Mhm.
help them to make sure. What are you hearing? Understand that the collective side is totally different from the endorsement side. You
Definitely,
know what
bro.
I'm saying? And if an agency want to step in, it's okay if they're going to do it the right way, right? If they're
Mhm.
not going to rape the kid, you know what I'm saying? I've heard some agencies, kids that are getting, in the seven figures. I've heard that they take about 3 to 5%. That's great. That's
Mhm.
the three
Mhm.
to five. That's awesome because they're not taking advantage of these kids. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, their work is not for free. You know what I'm saying? They gotta get some. You know what I'm saying? So between the 3 to the 5,
Understood.
I'm cool. But when they go to the 10% and the 20%, I was with two companies, left both because at the end of the day, my goal was to empower parents, man, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing now. I'm working with these. I got a couple 5 stars and 4 stars, making sure mom and dads are going in this meeting with with the information so that they can make sure they make the right decisions and know that they're not getting taken care of. The number one goal is this: is to educate the parents that they need to know the fair value of what their kid is, right? That's what they
Yes.
need to know because
We talked about
they have
that,
no
man.
idea.
That's
How
oh
how do
man.
you calculate that though when they haven't played any?
My, well, that's the thing. Like I can that's where I come in. I
Right.
can tell you, I'll do evaluation and I'll tell your kid this is what is normally what his going rate for this kid or where he's ranked, his stars, and all of that. If you don't have none of that, come on, guys, you won't be able to
You won't be
negotiate
able to
yourself
negotiate
into it.
anything.
Nah, no, and not every kid going. This is the thing I try to tell parents. Not every kid gonna get an NIL deal. You better just pray to God you get a scholarship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the whole. This is the whole nother world of this whole going through this process, recruiting process now. Kids right now, I tell them, as long as you go to a school who can put you on the playing field to showcase your ability, it doesn't matter if it's a small school that you didn't like, because there's a portal every year. Every year you get revalued, and then if you bought out at the school you didn't like, trust me, they're gonna come and find you, man. The
Yeah.
stats, all of
Mhm.
that stuff will work out for you. It
Film is
ain't
huge,
about
right? Film is
trying.
huge. Yeah.
And film is
Yeah,
huge, man. I
you know,
I know kids that
I,
say their practice film, although they didn't get on the film for a certain situation or whatever, and man, they
yeah,
say that film and they send it to some coaches and hey, look, I see what I like. And those kids get a chance. So I mean, you're exactly right. It's all about production on that field. Those practice film, they help
exactly.
some, but that production
Yeah,
is what you're looking at, bro. And if a college
yeah,
see, if the college look at a freshman and they see, okay, this kid was on the scout team, but he killing my number one. But we're not gonna put him out there just yet. Guess what? They're not gonna let you go. They're not gonna, because guess what?
no,
At the end of the day, it's about winning, and their salary depends on how many. It depends on that kid playing right tackle, left tackle, quarterback, running back, whatever the situation is. Their livelihood depends on that.
Coach
that's
Roybal
right.
brings up a good point too, and we were just talking about this. How important are you seeing JUCOs now becoming because of that rule where they no longer lose eligibility at this point?
And that is a blessing in disguise for for
We
every high school student that that
Yes.
that can't make it to the league. What just happened for you high school students that don't really understand that part? You just been blessed with 2 more years to work on
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 your
your
craft.
talent, your ability, on your craft. You just blessed 2 more years that won't affect your 4 years and your
Great
redshirt year.
program, all of
Wait,
that.
you just
Yep.
turned into a prep school is what it turned into, Big Day.
Yeah,
It just
yes,
turned into
man,
a
and
prep
that's
school.
what. It is amazing that that law is passed. It's so good. So high school students, stop worrying about not getting a D1 offer. Now they blessed you with 2 more years to go to a junior college and really work on your craft. Because there's some kids that weren't blessed like some of the kids that I know here in California. they had these training like since in sixth or seventh grade. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Some of the kids that have the ability, like
Oh,
kids in the Midwest. You know what I'm saying? Kids
bro.
those cities that don't have
Oh
this,
man, he
they're,
preaching now.
they're,
He preaching
yeah,
now,
no
bro.
talent. Yeah, they have the talent, but they just didn't have the ability or the chance to be able to face that kind of training to really bring that stuff out. So now you
Yeah.
got 2 more years in college in JC that won't affect your 4 years and your rest your year. Now you can go to junior college, and now guess what? You see how bad I mean, see how much they're recruiting junior college now. So
Oh, they
man,
recruiting junior college
this
over
is
high school guys. They
all
recruiting
day,
them over high
all
school
day.
guys.
Yep.
And let me just piggyback off what you said about the training. Now I'm in Mississippi, man, and
Yes.
I used to
See.
be I used to be with FBU, and we made it to the national championship in this FBU game for middle school. Guys, here's the deal: we lost to a school called GFL, which is in Georgia, but every last one of those kids had a trainer. The kids we
Yep.
had, we were raw talent, but we wasn't going
Raw.
to beat them. You know, we
Yes.
beat a lot of. I mean, we beat some teams to get there, but you look at Mississippi, we got 13 JUCOs, bro. And if I'm looking at a kid that's going to go to Southern Miss, and Southern Miss is not going to give you no more money than East Mississippi, guess what? Man, you're better off going to East Mississippi for 2 years.
You get to play.
Yes.
You're not going to get on the
I'm
field
being
if you
honest
go the
with
other
you.
spot. Yeah.
Bet on yourself. Why? Bet on yourself.
Exactly.
And that's a
Exactly, man.
huge blessing for these kids to be able to say, okay, you know what? It's just like prep school now. So guess
Yep.
what? What do you need a prep school for? So all of them will die out. Pretty much. They already
Yep.
pretty much already all gone. But yeah, man, that's what we have right here. And Dave, man, we'd like to get some information from you, man. We can post it, man. You know, if there's some kids out there that want to get that insight, man. We appreciate you coming on the show, man. Number one, you
Yeah.
didn't have to, but yeah, man, we want to educate the parent. That's what we're all about. Just educating the
That's
parents and educating the people, the public, on what's going on. Because anytime you got a big money market, you're gonna have a lot of snakes coming in. You're gonna have a lot of sharks coming in. So it's
oh,
got to be
bro.
somebody that's already in the business to be able to keep some of that calm, so some of these parents can actually
Yeah. Yeah.
see what's going on.
I've been, for every parent out there that's listening, not just once, but I had twice, right? I had two 5-star number one players in the country, and then all the other kids that I've helped out,
Yeah.
and just going through that whole process, seeing it for what it is. My goal is like you, man, just trying to give that information back to these parents so they are. So they understand how to maneuver. But honestly, a lot of times, a lot of parents say, "Well, our kids ain't 6'6", 6'5" like DJ Mateos." But and I totally
I
agree
know
with
the
Hey,
you.
feeling.
I agree with you, but this is what I tell them. My kids were getting their offers in junior high school. You know what I mean?
Right,
They weren't
right.
6'5", 6'10". So I'm just telling
Mhm.
you what I went through. And then I got other kids that I helped through the process that weren't like DJ. And you're right. Every every kid has their own finger blueprint of what they how their process has to be, right? And
true.
Everybody's
what we're
different,
trying
bro.
to different, man, and we're just trying to give information to these parents so that they can have this information and just try their best to, and getting their kids, the proper looks, understanding how this recruiting process works. How does if you have a kid that has a 4-star and really, 4 or 5-star and highly recruited, how do you handle these meetings with these coaches and what do you expect? People are going to call you out the blue. You know what I
Oh
mean? The one
man.
thing I want to tell parents is stop. For me, is stop. People gonna come and name drop, right?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Remember,
That's a
you
part
you
of it.
got these you got these kids there. How do you
Hmm.
think these kids got here? Because of you. So
Right.
everything, mom and dad, everything should go through mom and dad.
Dad.
Nobody should go
Period.
directly to the kid and talk to the kid, and we're gonna take him here, and then you just all of a sudden be like, okay with it. No, no, you gotta vet everything because you
Every
don't know nobody's intentions. You don't. Trust me.
Well, the
I
thing
did
about
that
it
with my
is,
first.
right, and the thing about it is, and I didn't see. It's been a while, but I think we have been on a couple of recruiting trips together. My son's a freshman at OU, and And the thing
Yeah,
about it is, you're absolutely right. I see these handlers taking these kids. I see some of these
man.
coaches taking these kids, and you don't see the parent. And I'm talking about if you say something to one of them, that's my kid, or whatever. I mean, you just can be speaking. You can look at the body language a lot of times and tell who's on the up and up and who's not. You don't even take a
Yes,
conversation. It don't take a
yes.
conversation. If you go, we was at Alabama. I saw the same guy with this kid. We was at Tennessee. I saw the same guy with this kid. We was at LSU. I saw the same guy with this kid. He wasn't his coach. He wasn't his uncle. He might have been a
Nope.
pee wee coach or a trainer or something in a situation like that. Well, mom and dad, guess what? That guy right there, I'm gonna be honest with you. And some out there might get pissed, but he's gonna be a difficult guy to work with. In
Yes,
90% of the time, he's going to be a difficult person to work with. And I've seen so
yes.
many kids not be able to reach their full potential because they got somebody in their ear and they won't allow them to be a part of the process
Bear
and be a part
Alexander.
of the program.
Bear Alexander. Who's in that
Yeah,
kid's ear? Damn
You
it.
know,
man.
that's
Yes.
that's
And
that's
it's
something that I see a lot. And I know you have to see the same thing.
I see it all the time, man. I'm not trying to knock on those guys. Maybe
Me
some of those
neither, bro.
guys
I'm
are
not
good
knocking,
guys,
but
but
I'm just
but
saying what I see.
yeah, and you hit it on the nail. Kudos to you for not allowing that to happen, and you travel with your sons. I try to tell parents that who has the means, because it is expensive, and sometimes they
Oh
don't have the
yeah.
means to travel. But at the end of the day, man, it's so much better if you can work a situation where you're everything runs to the mom and dad or whoever's the parent that's working with their child, because man, you don't know the conversations that you don't hear behind the side deals that's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
man.
found out
How many people are
I
getting
found bruh, I found out I didn't know my son, my older one, was going on. I'm gonna be transparent because everybody got to know. I didn't know he was going on business and somebody was getting 10 racks. You know what I mean? Like what?
Yeah.
I find that out. I found out after. You know what I'm saying? So that's why Mattel,
Yeah.
Mattel's my younger son, it was totally different.
Hmm.
Everybody, and there was still this guy. I'm gonna say his name. I put him out there because he's a pedophile, man. Coach Frog.
ooh,
I trusted this man. I trusted this dude. You know what I mean? He came in, be with my kids, but then eventually found out, you know what I mean, did what he
Yeah.
did, messing with little
Hmm.
kids, found out
ooh.
the true intentions why he did things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's why I'm so concerned for parents. Be
Yeah,
careful
man.
who you
That's a
tie
lot
your
of
kids with.
lot of stuff can go on, man. You have guys
Yeah.
that turn around and man, you see they at one school, they got 6, 7, 8 kids with them. And guess what? Hey, God, the bag man
Handlers.
still exists, guys. Don't think he don't.
Oh man,
The bag man
it
still
does.
exists. You got all this stuff on the table, but the bag man still exists. So you got a guy getting 10 racks for bringing 6, 7 guys. You think he giving them kids into that money? No, but you know what he
Not at
doing?
all.
He feeding them. Come on, man, just get in the car with me. I got you. And he
That's
feed them.
right, man.
He go by McDonald's. He go by Burger King. Feed him a couple times. He might have spent $500, $600. He go
That's
back
right.
home with 9 racks.
That's
That
right.
happens.
I, I, I'm pissed because I didn't
Hey,
get
you
none of
got
it. Shit, you took my boy and got that bread, homie.
So you missed out on a little bit of it, huh?
for real
But
though.
it's all good. It's all good. And
Yeah, I
it's
understand,
water.
bro.
Yeah, and that's the reason why me, you, guys like us, we want to make sure parents have all the information, man. Be careful.
So important,
Uh,
right?
uh, yeah, learn how to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to, I had a kid. His name is Arthur Fatlavi, and he's a 5 star, just a sophomore. He's a 5 star out here in San Diego. He got his first offer, eighth grade going to ninth grade, right? That between that year. And when we walked into the office with Riley, I pulled myself out of there because I wanted the mom and dad to understand. You talk to the coach, not me.
That's right.
I know I brought y'all out here, but you guys talk to this coach.
Hmm.
Learn. I told the dad, learn how to make talk with these coaches, ask your questions, and I,
Yeah.
gave them. And when they went in there, I didn't think they were going to get an offer. The kids just barely eighth grade, going to ninth. And he comes out, dad wiping his eyes, and I was saying, what happened? He gets this offer, man. And now my job is to go into letting him know that this offer can really mess you up. You know what I'm saying?
It can.
Like
It
now you
really
gonna
can.
think you
Being
made
that
it. You know what
young.
I mean? So I go right into to reel him back mode. Listen, this offer is not even committable. Understand that right now.
Right.
You
Right
can't
now.
even commit to this. But all this offer is to tell you whatever you're doing to get to this point, keep on doing it. That's
Keep
it.
doing it. Keep striving.
You shake his hand, say thank you for the offer. Then we go back acting like you ain't got no offer, and you keep working. That's it. That's
Amen.
your. That's how you. That's how I did DJ Mateo. Every one of those offers, shake their hand. I remember DJ got his offer from SC in 8th grade. He didn't know what an offer was. I'm the one over here all happy and crying a little bit. He's like, "What's that?" All DJ wanted to do was go get. He's like, "Dad, where's Ono's at? I'm hungry." You know what I'm saying? So, man, that
Uh-huh.
Man, that's
like
wild, bro.
the one factor that kids, parents, you guys need to understand, and I hear it all. How he get an offer? He's so young. Listen,
Oh,
every offer from 6th grade to 11th grade is non-committable. So
that's right.
so you don't
That's
have
right.
to waste no time. I mean, this is the true fact. Offer from 6th grade all the way to 11th grade is non-committable.
Non-committable.
Right.
Non-committable. You could verbally commit your junior year, probably. But I'm just saying, until they send you the paperwork to sign that's the real offer.
Yeah, I
Where
know. I
they
was
send
just
you
gonna
your
say
paper.
they can't hold you to shit until
Nothing.
even after you
Until they
sign.
Man,
Yeah.
I seen a
yes.
kid sign at Ole Miss and end up going to state. That
You
just
see?
happened this year. I seen a kid
Yes.
sign with Ole Miss, had the Ole Miss stuff on. His brother was at Mississippi State, and now he's over there at Mississippi State. So I
Yep.
don't know what the situation was with the parent. I don't know if the kid really wanted to go to Ole Miss, whatever. But now, man, all you got to do is hop in the damn portal.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Even if you sign, you can hop in the damn portal the next damn day.
Yeah, and
You
hey,
know,
real quick, I think we need to bring this up again too, and have people in card. You got to understand that first off, all the rules. I always try to say this every time we start talking about this. None of the rules that were made by not a single one of these athletes.
not one.
They didn't make a
Not one.
single rule. So all this talk about these guys are doing wrong, and it's you guys are taking up for the wrong side. You're
Yeah.
taking it for the
Definitely.
wrong side. You can't. Coaches do whatever the hell they want, whenever the hell they want. Yes, they pay part of their money. You think that's a penalty for them? It's not.
No.
It's not
Man,
a penalty for them.
the
That
money,
buyout gets bought. It's swapped back and forth. They don't give a shit about that because they're
not at
going to get
all.
their money either way. But the guy sitting on that came into your living room and promised your parents that he was going to take care of you, he's up and gone in 6 months.
It
Exactly.
Then
happens.
what?
It
So,
happens.
and on top of that, how many guys are actually getting told get in the portal? We don't have a spot for you anymore because you're not. We got to bring this guy in. I mean, this is a production based business. You
And
got to
and
win.
I want to tell parents and athletes that when coaches come and tell you to jump in the portal, understand that the rules are they can't force you in there.
No,
They're just trying to discourage you to get in there. So check this out. I'm gonna give you a nugget. They need you to jump in the portal because they need that scholarship, right?
they need
Well,
that room.
if they want that room, well, negotiate your deal to get paid to get in that scholarship. I'm giving you some nugget right now. You don't got to
Right.
jump in there. You can tell them, well, how bad do you want me to jump in there? I'll be happy to go to school for free, and not play football. If they hear that, they're going to be like, man, we got to get this guy out of here. And we can't because they can't put you in there. They can't.
They-
By
yeah,
law,
but
they have to follow through with that. What I'm telling is kind of crazy, but what I'm saying, hey, if
no,
they're
it's
going to force
facts.
you out there, you know what I mean? If I was if I had a son and they're forcing him out, I'm gonna be like, nah, he'll go to school for free. But if you want him out, you understand a scholarship is like maybe, maybe what, a six figures, right? Like maybe, I don't know
Yeah,
what is
it's
a
close.
scholarship.
All depending on where
Yeah,
you at.
you know what I mean. That's 1 year, but if you count 4 years, 3 years, you know what I mean. That's
Right.
three. That's over maybe 200, 250,000.
Right.
Well, I'll get out of my. I'll jump in the portal and get out of this for maybe 40,000. Just throw me something. Throw me a bone. I
Yeah,
don't know. Never heard
no
it done,
doubt.
but
Hey
you
man,
know,
look,
you know what I'm
you
saying?
dropping facts, man. That's something that
Yeah,
you know.
Well, that's why they're
Me and
willing
a
to
friend of
help
mine
you
we
find
talked
another
about
place to
that.
play, right? That's why a lot of times if they want you to leave, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, we're gonna help you find a place to play, but we got to get
yeah,
that scholarship back."
Yeah, and
yes. You know what I
they'll do
mean?
tactics like when you're in practice, going through the drills. You ain't got to worry about this. Just hold on. I didn't seen it happen. I done seen kids get treated really bad at programs because they wanted them to jump in the portal, and the kid didn't want to jump because 9 times out of 10, man, if you're a kid that's there for your education and you're not worried about going to the league, hey, he's like, man, I got 2 more years here and I'm graduating. I got
Yeah,
friends here. I got all this. I'm not trying. But when somebody come in and they treat you like shit, and just gonna be honest with you, then it makes those kids like it makes them unbearable for them to be there. And I've
yeah,
seen that
yeah.
situation happen. That happens to a lot of kids. So the kids like,
Wow.
man, I don't want to be nowhere where the coaches walk by me and don't
Doing that.
even speak because that
Yeah,
happens. And then
yeah,
guess
yeah.
what, man? Like I say, you got that agent. I can get you here. So now that's changed a little bit because there's always somebody that's lurking to get a guy. Unless you just a knucklehead, and that happens sometime. Unless you just a knucklehead, if you're at a P4 school that's
There's
winning
always
an
somebody
SEC
willing to
school,
take a chance,
there's
though. You know?
always somebody willing to take a chance on you, especially
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
you had high production coming out of high school.
that's right.
You
That's right.
got you got right now at Marshall University. They lost their head coach. Man, they are trying to get kids left and right.
Well, didn't they lose the entire program with him, pretty much?
Man, they lost a lot. They lost a lot. So I
Yeah.
mean, I got a kid from Auburn that they willing to pay this kid, and he didn't play a down. They willing to pay this kid pretty good to come because they need bodies right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They need bodies right now, and you're always gonna have those programs that need bodies and got a little
yeah,
bit of money to pay. Now you got this deal coming around in April with the revenue sharing. It's gonna make things a whole lot different for some schools.
that's right.
And
That's
so
right.
so Big Day, what do you think about that, man? How you think that's gonna affect things?
Well, I'm really eager to see if it's going to really happen and if it goes through. That'll
Yeah.
be it. Definitely gonna tap. It's gonna really affect the market, right? And people are gonna have to
Hmm.
get more creative now. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They're gonna have to get more creative on how to really build these relationships with these endorsements now. If they're not gonna have the
Mhm.
collectives anymore, the school's gonna have to get creative
I
with
don't think
building
the
relate.
collectives are going anywhere. I don't think the collectives are
Okay,
going anywhere.
I
so if
don't
the
think they
collectives
are
ain't
either.
going nowhere, there's nothing's gonna change.
Nothing's going to change anyways. That's the whole thing
Nothing's
is
gonna
that
So
change,
so
buddy.
so so all it's gonna able is okay. The
the
school gonna
big,
be able to
the
give you
rich
this
get
amount of
richer,
money.
baby. The rich get
The
richer.
school
That's what
gonna
it
be
does.
able to give you a certain amount, and then the collective's gonna say, okay, what you need to help, what you need for me to help you cover
Exactly.
this. That's pretty much all that's
Exactly.
gonna be.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna
Yep.
have two revenues of money that you can draw from instead of just one.
That's right.
And so you
I,
got
I,
that's going the Alabamas. They've been Alabama has been on top because of the system that Nick Saban had. It's not all financial with them. They make a lot of money, but there's a lot of other schools that make a hell of a lot more money and bring in a hell of a lot more money than Alabama does. But when it comes down to okay, now we finna do revenue sharing. Oh, now you change it because guess what? They're gonna have damn near 100,000 in there. You got Tennessee that's
yeah.
gonna have 100,000 in there. So man, from their revenue sharing, it's gonna be whoop compared to some of these other schools. So
Yeah.
that's gonna change, I think, a whole lot.
Yeah.
And just I'm talking about what is April when they go back to court or something like that? Is it April? I
Yes.
think it's coming up.
Yeah. It's just to ratify that lawsuit though. Pretty
Yeah,
much. I think
that's
it's
what.
just a rubber stamp deal because they've basically put it into place. But I want people to realize that doesn't change anything. All that really does is just means okay, yeah, the ones that were already struggling to really have a lot of transfer portal money. We're not talking about the Oregons and Oklahomas of the world
Nah,
right now. We're not talking about them because that's nothing to them. You got to remember that Michigan said next year they're planning to pay $55
55
million
million.
in NIL money, not just in their rev share, in
That's a lot of
NIL.
cash, man. That's a
You
lot
know,
of cash.
they just gave that kid, that quarterback, what, $15 million.
Yes.
He never played it down yet. You know what I mean? And
Nah.
so it's definitely, listen, I have zero problem with them. I have zero problem with these kids making whatever money they possibly can. What I
Yep.
want people to realize is this is not right now. You're seeing some parity, a little bit of parity. I would say a little bit of parity, but don't get it twisted and think that it's going to continue, because Alabama and Oregon and Notre Dame and Oklahoma can afford to pay the rev share and then some.
Yeah.
Yes.
You look at Notre Dame. What didn't they just get 20 million? And
$20 million.
they don't have to share it with nobody.
No, they get 1% of the
Man,
cut no matter what. And then
that
this was a
is
$10 million
crazy.
bonus. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Crazy, man.
That's crazy. So really, man, it's almost like your ass is cheating. If you ask, if you ask me, you cheating pretty much.
Hey, I want to
And
ask you, as from an Oregon perspective, how'd y'all feel about the seeding process with that number one in the country, undefeated, and you get your first game is Ohio State?
Man,
I for me, it was bogus. But man, what the hell? We can't cry over it, man. We gotta go in and handle what we gotta handle, and we're supposed to.
Well, you're going to play them
handle it, but you
eventually,
saw what
sooner or
happened.
later. But I mean, come on, man. And then you got Penn State's playing Boise and SMU. Come on, man.
We if we was on that side of the I think it would have been a lot better for us, right? But
right.
sitting out, man, you saw how that 3 week affected every team, man. You know
It
what I'm
affected
what
saying?
I'm
a
saying.
lot, bro. It
Well,
was different,
and
man.
then, bro, man, it's just I
I
hate
don't agree with
making
the I don't
excuses.
I don't agree with the home deal, bro. And
You
let me
going
tell
for
you the
home?
reason. Well, this is why I don't agree with it, man. You taking a school, that's a big ass advantage to have to go to some. This is playoffs, and you got to go to that school, and that damn intensity level is already high as hell, and you got to get over that. And I know that's football, but you know, you pretty much doing what you're doing in high school. Okay, you have the better record or whatever. Now you playing at home. This is college football.
Yeah,
If you're gonna do that, do it with all the damn playoffs and play the national championship on a damn neutral field. But man, that's I'm telling you, bro, it was something different. No, you was there, man. I'm sitting here looking at the damn atmosphere, looking at how electric everything was. And me and my wife was sitting up there watching it because my wife is a Tennessee alum. She graduated from Tennessee, 2 national championships at Tennessee. So she was like, "Where all our people at?" I said, "They in there." I said, "You can hear them singing that damn rocket top," and
yeah.
she was singing it right along with them, man. But it's a game changer to from what
Yeah.
I watched. I think it's a game changer being able to play at home that
It,
first game.
the first game when we played at home with them, we did what we did. Second game, I got no excuses, man. I
Right.
don't know what to say. We got our ass whooped, and I ain't even gonna make no
Jeremiah Smith ain't no
no
joke, man, huh? Woo.
that Smith is no joke. But I probably, if we had a better situation, like it's tough, man, to come off 3 weeks, man.
Yeah,
That wasn't
it
a
is,
team.
brother.
That wasn't that.
That's a
You know what
long
I mean? That
time,
wasn't
bro.
like
That's a
yeah.
long
You know what
time.
I mean?
And
And
and, and
I'm gonna say here, I had said something about the number 74 towards my comment was towards the guys that were the reporters, right? But they
mhm.
took it out of context saying I was saying something about the kid. I wasn't saying nothing
Nah,
about the kid. I was
I
saying
seen that.
why you keep asking my son, because you guys are trying to get my son to say something bad to the
Which
kid
he was,
about the
oh
kid.
yeah, I saw that on
Yeah,
there.
that was
Man,
BS,
Yeah,
that
man.
was weak sauce stuff.
That was
and
stupid,
I
man.
was like, no, I would
Ohio
never
State
talk
fans
bad
are
about
wacky
any
dudes,
kid.
man. They're wacky people, man.
I know, but it's all good. Me, I don't pay no mind. That's why I love block buttons, man. Oh man, that's my favorite button. But I just block out all the hate, bro. Man,
For
that's
real
my
though.
favorite part. I don't, and I keep on pushing, but I was like, man, get out. And then the dad wanted to say something to me. I was like, man, if you read it, but I don't go on social media, man. I would rather come and say it to your face, man. Like
Correct.
but
Correct,
at the
man.
end of the
Yeah.
day, respect to your son, man. Your son was balling. Number 74,
Right.
he balling.
And that's
You
the
know what
whole
I'm
thing. I
saying?
don't
And,
even think it was really fans get in
you
the
know
way.
what I mean?
Fans got their own little
Oh,
issues and stuff. You know what I mean? It's
I,
Yeah.
I don't even worry about the fans. I don't waste no energy there. You know what I
can't,
mean? I don't
can't.
Right.
care. But it was
Yeah.
just hilarious to me how they took it out of. But that's media for you, man. They do that all the time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And but it cracked me up, man. I was like, these man, what the hell? But it's all good, you know. But this is the coolest part when I see everybody in person. Hey, hi, Dave. Yeah, oh, okay. You know,
Yeah, that's because they
hey,
see your big ass and they're like, never
yeah,
mind, I
like,
wasn't talking that
like
shit.
I'm not a, what I'm saying, I'm the nicest guy in the world, bro. I'm
Yeah.
happy go lucky.
I know
But
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
are.
man.
okay,
You are big boy.
if you feel that way, keep the same, man. I want to see
And
y'all,
keep
but
that
I'm at the
same
point. Where
energy,
y'all
bro.
at?
Yeah, yeah. I
Where
do.
y'all at? I'm over here looking for. I'm like, man,
Yeah,
okay, well, you
man.
guys are nice, bro. They were nice ass fans, bro. I love Ohio State fans. They're good people,
Okay.
man. You know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean? Shoot,
Yeah.
You got to
Like I
be
say,
careful.
man.
These days, you got to be careful about how you treat some of those kids because the portal being what it is, you
yeah,
don't want to leave that impression and end up not having a shot at that kid because you said too much.
Yes, that
yeah,
happens. That's happened recently in certain situations,
yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, this is all new, man. The
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 NIL
the
is not
portal and
public
everything,
knowledge.
it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So
No,
so guys like
it's not.
guys like Big Dave, man, big ups to you, man, what you do. If it's any way, man, that you got kids that you got a parents that want to need some consulting. Hey man, just hey look, you're free right now to tell people how they can get to you or whatever the
Yeah.
situation is, man. We here, man, we all about helping kids, man. It's
Exactly.
not about the show. It's about what we can do
Uh,
to help your kids, elevate your kids, to get your kids in a better place.
and that's why I came on the show. As soon as he messaged me, I
Yeah,
know what you guys are about, and that's why I called. And at the end of the day, I'm putting out what you guys will know is I'm putting out a online training video. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
come out and just explain everything about NIL. Just trying to help put it out there so that people can have something to go to, just to give them an idea of how it works a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And just to where parents understand, that they don't have to feel intimidated by
Right.
will you
NIL.
have that on your
Acting
will
like,
you have that on your Twitter? What social media account can they go to get that?
it'll be my IG. If you
Okay,
put Big Dave
Yeah.
Lay, my last name, it'll all come up. It'll pop
okay,
up.
cool.
And
Hey,
Twitter
I
too,
got you,
Big
Big Dave. I'll
Dave.
drop it in there. I'll
Yeah,
drop it in there because I
yeah,
follow you everywhere.
yeah. And
oh
any
definitely,
parent out
man.
there that have any questions, you know what I'm saying? Definitely want to be able to help you guys, man. Just like my two brothers right here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm with them, and when they come calling, I'm ready to get on air
Hey man,
because,
we got some talent in Mississippi, bro.
bro, y'all got talent for real. Yes,
We got some talent in
yes.
Mississippi, man. So I got a kid that, man, I just recently started helping. He's a 27 guy, man, and he's like 6'6", 6'5", 185 receiver, man. He does not drop anything. He's just raw,
Wow.
man. And so his mom is a she's an administrator. His dad is a college administrator. But guess what? Neither
Wow.
one of them ever played ball, man. Neither one of them ever played ball. So they like, Coach, then what did I do? This boy asked me, can he go to this training? Can he? I said, look, hold on, slow down. Slow down. This is what we're gonna do. And
Right.
we got him with a good trainer. We got him with some people that's gonna look after him, man. Because
Yep.
when you see a kid with those kind of tangibles, it won't take long. Once that film hits and somebody see him, it's just like blood in the water.
Yep.
They coming.
Coming.
So with this kid, man, I told his parents, hey, look, everybody that inbox you, not your friend. And they're not just trying to help your kid because they saying, and then do not listen to this name dropping. If the first thing they
Man.
do is start dropping these damn names, you hit that
Oh
what?
my
The block
gosh.
button.
Yes.
You hit the
And be
damn
so
block button on their ass because that's
preach,
gonna
man.
happen when you got it's things that people are looking for. When you got length and size and speed, that right there to somebody on the outside, whether it's an agent or whatever, that means money. And anytime money involved, you got people who don't mean you any good is going to be around. That's going to happen.
That's right.
So if it's
That's right.
any way that we can come together, man, as a collective, any way I can help you, Dave, you can
Yep.
find me on Twitter, Marcus Dent
Yes.
93, man, and any way I can help you, bro. That's what I
Yep.
want to do because right now
Man.
we're at a hard time right now, and I got 13 junior colleges in the state of Mississippi.
Wow.
13 junior
Wow.
colleges in the state of Mississippi, and they put out some of the best kids in the country, that's playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but there's not a whole lot of help. There's a bunch of bad guys that want to make sure they get paid. There are a
Yeah.
bunch of guys who never played a down of collegiate football, who have never coached any collegiate football, but they got connections with this guy and this guy,
Can't
and
spell collegiate
sometimes
football.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, right now, man, what I'm looking at right now, it's infested right now. And what I mean by infested, it means we got all these athletes and are not enough people to help them go the right way.
Amen.
Because you're gonna
Amen.
go in and say, okay, I know this guy at Ole Miss, I can get you this, I can get you that, but they're not looking. I got a kid that just transferred out because he went to a school where it was all you already had some guys that were there that I'm looking at his talent level. I knew he wasn't going to overjump. I know he wasn't going to jump into these guys. And then they came behind him and had a good recruiting season after that. So he's in the middle with no production, although he's a four-star kid. And what had to
That's right.
happen, Dave? He had to go because this
Yeah.
is how they get you. They drop your money. So
That's
you
right.
used to X amount of dollars coming in. You helping mom a little bit. You helping mom with your little brother and your little sister, and you go from 300,000 to say what they're gonna give you 50. That's how they get you in the damn portal right there.
Yep.
That's right.
They
Yep.
drop your ass from 300 to 50. Guess what you gonna do? You gonna bust a move.
You got to. You have to
So
do it.
Yeah.
so right now we got so many kids, man, that need that help, man. So David,
That's
if
right.
I mean if any
Hey,
way
my pictures
possible,
are
man,
coming
we can
too.
any way
J-
possible we
Jay,
can link up to help some of these kids, man.
yeah,
Let's
no,
do it.
Jason, please send him my number, or
We'll
put
do.
us on a three-way text so I have your number.
Yeah,
I want his number, yeah,
I
so
got you.
we be
Yeah.
connected.
yeah,
I'll do it right now. Yep.
yeah. But
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
we've been in here for a minute, Jason, man. But we're finna get
Yeah.
ready to get out of here, man. Big Dave, I appreciate you coming on here, man. And like I
Appreciate you,
said, we're
man.
gonna
It's great to see
we're
you,
gonna
Big Dave, man.
yeah,
And
man. Hey, we
glad.
appreciate you coming on, bro. Anytime you want to jump
Yeah.
on with me and Jason, man, you welcome to, bro. Anytime.
Thank, thank you, brother. Honored
Any-
to just fight that good fight for our kids and the parents, man. You know what I mean?
uh,
That's what we doing. At the end of
definitely,
the day,
man.
me we were parents, right?
Yeah,
And the reason
definitely.
why I'm doing it is because I've been down that road, man. I've been
Me too.
somebody led me the wrong way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right,
So
right,
man, that's why
right.
we're doing what we're doing, man. And man, thank you for letting me allow me to get on here
Oh
and
man,
just
it's all
share.
Hey
good.
man, I'm so glad you came in, man. And shout out to Mateo for a great season. Shout out
Yeah,
Man,
he
shout out
ball,
to
man.
DJ
He ball.
headed off. Man, we're
hey,
excited for
hey,
you,
bro,
man.
bro, man, I got so many collected colleges calling me for that guy, and I'm like, that guy ain't going nowhere, man. He he, he ain't going nowhere. He love Oregon, boy.
Man, it is what it is, bro. Hey, hey,
Man, I'm
that's the thing. That's the thing people don't understand. Some of these kids love where they at.
well, bro. To be honest, just so parents be transparent, my son, my son turned down a gang of money to go to Oregon. That's facts, homie. And I was looking at him like,
We
"What?
did
Are
the
you
same
serious?"
thing. We did the
Yeah,
same
that's
thing, bro.
I want people to know that my son turned down a gang of money to go to Oregon, man. And for him, it was more about development, man. It was more about connection with the coaches
And
and
that's where
ability
he
to get
wanted
him
to
ready
be.
for the. That's where he wanted to be, man. And Ohio State was right there. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, he made the right decision, man. I kudos to my son. Granted we didn't get that win, but who cares, man? For
Right.
me, I saw somebody put out there they did a little evaluation on Mateo's season, and if he would have went to the league this year, he'd have been the first round. So I said, son, great job. Got to keep it going again next year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hey, definitely,
Proud
man.
of him, man.
Proud of him, man. That,
Same,
before we
same
get
with
out of
your
here,
boy.
hey, yeah, I appreciate it, man. Um, get out of here, Jason, one more time, man. Tell them where to find you at, man.
Yeah, you can always find me on Twitter at HOF CFB. It's HOF CFB. And then you can find me on Twitter itself. On Twitter, you can find me at JW_HOF. On YouTube, it's HOF CFB. Man, you know where to find me. I'm always in here with you guys. So that's the place to be. So make sure you guys check us out. Be on in the morning actually I won't be on in the morning. I got somewhere I got to be in the morning. I got a court date, actually. I got to go handle some stuff. So, yeah, we won't be on in the morning. But, hey, man, I appreciate you having me on there, Marcus.
Hey,
And
anytime,
Big
bro.
Dave,
Anytime.
it's good to see you, my brother, man. We'll have to get together
Yes,
and
sir.
talk a little bit more soon. So I'm sending you a text message right now, man. Thanks so much for joining me.
Okay, brother. Yes,
All right,
sir.
man. All right,
Appreciate
we'll
it.
Take care of you.
catch you guys next time. Peace.